Thank you for tuning in to the Ultimate Hockey Podcast Uncensored. Viewer discretion is advised. And now your hosts, John Stewie Stewart, Coach Johnny Prendergast, Andre Lippert Parfiniak, and Elliot.
All right, welcome to the show. Special show here. We've got a couple of guests. Our first show with a guest speaker. So let's start with somebody you guys all might know, Cliff Ronning.
How you doing out there?
Cliff, you played Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals with a broken hand.
Yeah, and that's what I got left.
How did that happen?
Well, Game 6, with about 2 minutes to go, Joey Kosher just grabbed me and flung me up and then landed on me and then stepped on my hand. And then I was out, but then somehow the doctor with Vancouver ended up putting needles in my arms and numbing it, and it was the weirdest feeling playing a game, looking down to see if you're actually holding the stick. Mm-hmm. It was, at one time we were going to tape the stick to my hand, and I thought that might not be good because I could probably spear myself, but overall, it was the greatest experience I've ever had in hockey. Playing for Pat Quinn was special to me, and just the 94 guys are still tight to this day. It was a really close-knit team of brothers, and I think that's something I hope the Canucks can get back to, and that's become brothers again, and no infighting, and everyone's got the same cause, and I think that's when teams do well.
Amen.
Yes, thank you. And then you met this fine young gentleman, Cole Williams. How did you guys get to know each other, Cole? Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Cole Williams. Thanks for having me on, you guys. I appreciate it. It's great to be here. Cliff actually was my coach back in the day. I grew up playing hockey with his son, Ty. And Cliff was like the best coach that I'd ever had growing up, so always respected him and thought very fondly of him and my time playing with him and for him. And when we started this project with Switchblades, Cliff was one of the first guys that I reached out to because I knew that he was quite particular about his gear, so I really wanted his feedback on our early prototypes. And here we are 3 years later, working on it together, so it's been a good...
So tell us, how did this begin? Who came up with the idea of Switchblades?
Well, the idea was sort of the culmination of many different ideas that, many of my friends and I and my colleagues had. And, we originally wanted to get into making blades, and we realized that industry was quite well protected in terms of patent law. And, working at a manufacturing company here in Vancouver, I kind of got, some firsthand experience seeing how things were made in the metal industry. And I thought that there was a good opportunity to make a blade holder that was CNC machined out of metal as opposed to injection molded out of plastic. And I thought we could improve on some things. The primary one being, I would say, performance and rigidity. And we started tossing the idea around, and we made a prototype, and I skated on it, and it was quite successul, and I really liked how it felt.
So it was your idea?
Well, it was my idea, and it was my brother's idea, and it was a couple other friends had contributed to that, and we'd kind of, I wouldn't say one single person had the idea. It was definitely a team effort, but it just kind of it grew out of the fact that I'd grown up playing hockey and was in manufacturing and was thinking about things that would be, things that we could improve on in the game in terms of equipment, and the blades and the blade holders were definitely one of the first things to come to mind. So. The idea was definitely a good team effort, and then the development of the products has been a huge team effort over the last 3 years. So,
okay, let's talk about the technology then. So, if you're going to explain this to just a general
explain it to me, someone who doesn't play hockey, doesn't ice skate.
Skated.
I have skated, yes.
All right. Well, the idea, it's quite a simple idea. But it's very effective. I mean, you think about something like this. Imagine a 200-pound hockey player, right, that can skate 20 or 30 miles an hour, right? Imagine how much force they're putting down through their leg, through their blade onto the ice. Mm-hmm. And think about, the size of the blade, right? It's an eighth of an inch thick and maybe 12 inches long. And if you're 200 pounds and you're slamming your foot into the ice, there's a lot of pressure that's going through this blade into the ice. And you really ideally want the boot and the blade holder and the blade to be as rigid as possible, because that will allow for the most transfer of energy through to the ice. So when you push off on your blade, if your blade and your boot or your blade holder is bending or flexing, or your blade is deflecting, that's energy that is being absorbed by the boot and the blade holder, and that's energy that's not being put into the ice to help propel you forward. So we looked at the plastic ones, and plastic has kind of been the industry standard for a long time. I think they came out with the plastic ones in the mid 70s. Yeah. It was a long time ago, and they've made improvements in the plastic material since then, but they haven't made like a generational leap forward in terms of the technology, I would say. Carbon fiber replaced wood hockey sticks because it was a lighter and better material. Could kick harder and whip faster. Mm-hmm. And we like to think of this product in a similar way, because the metal is really going to, I think, change the game. It's so much more rigid, and it's like skating on rails, that you'll have a huge advantage using this over plastic.
For sure.
Cliff, why don't you tell us about your experience with this product?
Yeah, I mean, at first I got on them, and they were kind of mounted not quite right, and we eventually dialed it in, and they've done so many different types, almost 35 times they've changed things, and the best part is you notice instantly the power when you do take a stride. And for me, as you get older especially, the fatigue factor doesn't come into play like it would on plastic, because you're not wasting energy. So when you go and you stride, that stride just keeps getting faster. And I mean, my son's wearing them, and my son had a great year last year, and he's loving them. Your turns are tighter, coming out of a turn's quicker, standing in front of the net, you're stronger on your skates, going to the net. There's just so many advantages to it. Now it's just a matter of I remember I was kind of in that era with hockey sticks when we were using, it was like an Easton shaft, and then they tried to make blades, but they were just too stiff out of graphite. So everyone started using Christian blades, wood blades, because you could receive a pass, right? And it's very similar now with the hockey stick. A lot of people can really shoot a puck. As long as you have decent technique and get the right flex, big difference. With this, it's the same type of game changing, that it's instantly, honestly, maybe 1 or 2 laps, and you're going to notice, oh my God, are you kidding me? So it's really about getting it out there, and we've got some great ideas to get it in people's hands, and I'm sure Cole will talk about it, but he's been working on this for a long time, and I don't know how many times you've changed the pattern to get to this, and it's absolutely at its finest right now, ready to go. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, we're on version, I think we're on version 36 now. This may be version 35. We basically had made a lot of quite important changes that required us to completely rebuild the model from the ground up. And that was a result of testing, destructive testing, prototyping, testing on ice, and kind of just, really getting player feedback. And a lot of the changes were, simple quality of life things, geometry, weight saving features, rigidity features, durability features, things like that, through testing we realized, we have to change this. And it's been a long road, but I think we definitely have the most viable version of that now, and we're obviously going to be continually making changes, and the more we get out there, the better idea we'll have about how they perform, I would say on a larger scale. But we're very happy with how these performed so far.
Now, my first experience was a lot different from Cliff's first experience, because you guys kind of figured out a change that needed to be made, where Cliff, you felt like the blade was too sharp when you first got on them, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then, so you had already prepared that for me, where you fixed that problem by making the blade sharpen flatter. So instead of me skating on a 5/8 inch hollow, I got bumped up to a 3/4 inch hollow. Something that I've never had the chance of doing before, because with normal skates, I could not skate on a 3/4 inch hollow. It would be too difficult for me. So how can you explain how I'm able to skate on a 3/4 inch hollow instead of a 5/8 inch hollow so easily?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, if you think about how this works, right? You have this is your skate, right? And you're striding on the ice. When your blade is at an angle like this to the ice and you're pushing down, the blade is biting the ice, but the blade wants to straighten out. So there's a force being applied to this edge on the blade, but the blade wants to straighten out. And in a plastic holder, it does that to a small degree because it's called blade deflection. So when the blade then tries to straighten out and it flexes in the holder, it changes the angle at which the edge is hitting the ice. So you have to have a sharper edge to get the same sensation. On ours, because it's so much more rigid, that blade has nowhere to go. So the angle at which your boot is to the ice is the angle at which the edge is carving through the ice. So a 5/8 inch radius of hollow on our blade is going to feel sharper than a 5/8 inch radius of hollow in a plastic holder. So, early testing we really figured out that a lot of guys were complaining about the blades being way too sharp, and we basically did a ton of testing, and we had to figure out what was causing that, and we pretty much figured out that was the cause. It was the extra rigidity of the blade holder, and the solution is to go to a larger radius of hollow. Now, the good thing about that is that you can get the same sharpness sensation in corners and turns and whatnot, but you have a much improved glide performance. So you can go to like a flatter edge, so you have better glide.
Paul Coffey, that's what he skated on, dead flat. And he had the perfect edges, right? So it just makes you more smooth, and
so you can have higher top end speed, and you can have better maneuverability in terms
Somebody
of grip.
told me it looked like he used to be able to just kick his skates off too.
What's that?
Coffee.
Coffee. Well, he used like two sizes smaller, so and no socks. He was. They talked about that. They just inducted him into something out in Toronto. Man of the Year, actually, and it was just like 2 nights ago.
Oh, wow.
But his power, I would have loved to get him on these because his edges were unbelievable coming out around the net. You couldn't even catch that guy if you tried, and it just looked like he sat so low in his skates. It was like one of the best skaters I've ever seen, and on something like this, he'd have to go super flat, but it was just amazing to watch him skate. And the good thing about this is going to make a guy that isn't a better skater, he's going to be able to skate faster, he's going to be able to glide faster. And when you glide, you're not wasting as much energy.
Ooh, beer league guys are going to love these.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I was using these,
Lazy.
I love them.
this is my first time being able to skate on a flatter blade, and now I'm getting the sensation of the glide. And that is just an incredible sensation. So you're going to have guys like me who've always been skating on 1/2 inch, 5/8. Our blades are sinking into the ice. It's making us tired, and then all of a sudden I'm on this flat blade, and I feel like light as a feather.
Yeah.
And the glide sensation is amazing. So
and a lot of the feedback that we've collected in that regard too has been that at the end of the game you don't feel quite as tired, right? Because you're not expending as much energy to travel the same amount of distance. So
now, are you saying that you knew Paul Coffey's hollow?
Oh, he was dead flat. I know that for a fact. He was the flattest of any NHL player back in the day. And the one that really started changing, having like the profile was Matt Sundin. He was on a 13 profile. So the Swedes started that, coming over with that CAG 1, going to a 13. We didn't know anything like that. Do you remember when I was a kid, everyone used to sharpen the skates, and then by the end of the year, you had nothing on the toes or the back. Yeah. You could turn real quick, but your legs are going 100 miles an hour, but you weren't very fast, right? So it's a science to having the right lie, like what do you're saying?
The right profile.
Right profile for your skating stride, but also be able to maneuver enough that you don't get caught on the toes. I know for me, I had to use every advantage possible. I mean, right down the curve in the wood stick, and then getting into the graphite stick. I'd make the biggest curve possible. I'd put a little cup at the end so the puck would stick in there, and I'd throw it like high lie at the goalie so it would actually dip on him. I had to use every advantage possible. And if I was still playing today, 100% I'd be using these, and this would have helped me for sure in my game. I used, back in junior, a blade Perfecta blades, and that was Wayne Gretzky, because obviously he was one of my idols, and he used these Perfectas, Glenn Anderson and a bunch of guys. So I used them when I was in junior hockey and stuff, just trying to, I guess, emulate them. But it's only a matter of time in getting some of these players on this, because the turns, the tight turns, it is incredible coming out of a turn when you know a guy's on your hip and he can't get you. You already know that. So there's a lot of advantages, and we're really excited about this. Is a big summer for us. We're going to be doing a pilot program with pros and Joes and whoever wants to feel this experience that you're feeling, Andre. And we have people right across North America, friends of mine, that these guys want these things painted Kelly green. Like, who knows where it's going to go? When
Philly.
I worked for Warrior,
Sounds like it's going to Philly.
yeah, well, when I worked, when I retired, I got hired by New Balance, which turned into Warrior hockey sticks. Me and Ally Frady. So I was always intrigued by finding something that gives you an edge. I'm all about that, being 5'7".
When did you get the nickname Stick Doctor?
That's when, what happened there was I was in charge of going to the Edmonton Oilers and assessing all the players, because Chris Pronger, he had a contract for $100,000 with CCM. He's using one of the blue sticks, and I was watching him shoot. He hadn't scored in like 30 games, and I went to practice, and he's shooting. It's going right in the corner, and I played against him, so I know this guy's pretty accurate. So Ron Kunisaki was kind of the guru of hockey sticks, and me and him really worked well together. So we actually started testing him shooting. We realized his stick was opening up at the bottom just from the way it was structured. It wasn't structured properly, and I gave Ron, how do you say, like the coordinates of what he needs. Stiffen it up here, and we got the stick out to him in a week. He ended up scoring 2 goals first game. Next game scored again, and then all of a sudden he says, I need 3 dozen of those. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, a couple other guys, Pisani goes to me, hey, I'm having trouble with my shot. I don't know, like, I just can't get nothing on. I said, all right, well, let me watch you. He just used the old Drury curve, but he's using like 110 flex. And this guy, he was as skinny as you could. He was like maybe 180 pounds, but 6'1" or 6'2". And I said, you know what? He's got great technique. So I put him in a 75 flex and cut off a little bit so it stiffened it up. But that night, snipe, like just dialing in the guy by watching visually, you can see certain things are off. And then all of a sudden, Mike Peck, who I played with, came to me and said, hey, can you file down a little bit for the face-offs for me? I want it right here. So I became like the custom stick doctor in the league. So then I went and did 8 different teams. So at one time, and it just happened to be there was 14 guys on the team when they went to the finals against Carolina, and I pretty well took them out of another brand and dialed them into what they should be playing. They didn't even know. I mean, there was times we were going out to Ottawa and fitting players, and I'm trying to remember the player, but he's going, I just don't know how to take a slap shot. I go, you're in the NHL. I goes, I just can't take a slap shot. So we went out and filmed them. I'm not sure if you were on that trip, but we were filming him. You can see he's going heel first, stick bending. So it was just all technique. We're explaining now with these sticks, you got to go toe down, loads up the stick, and then it comes through and you finish getting over your toes, which they teach here. And I started getting phone calls from GMs. I got a phone call of all things for Nashville Predators. Shea Weber wants to talk to you. And I'm going, oh my God, okay, well, this is great. So they fly me out there, and I end up doing the same thing I did with Pronger, with Shea Weber, and he was super easy to work with. And he actually just played, if I remember, he was in the old Eiserman kind of curve, and he had to go to 110 flex, but we dialed him in, and he started hitting the net and scoring, and that's how that stick doctor came up. And now I'm hoping to become a skate doctor, because I think, I'm telling you, it is unbelievable, the difference. You'll feel it right away. So we're excited. There's lots to do, and we want to do it slowly and the right way. And that's, I'm here to help him because I believe in his product and the passion they have in it. Has there's just so many opportunities. But like anything in business, it's hard work, and I think we're up for that challenge.
Can people buy these right now on your website?
Not at the moment, no. We're still finalizing some R&D things, and we are going to be introducing a pilot program this summer. So if you're in the Lower Mainland of Vancouver and you're interested in trying these out, please go to our website, switchblades.ca, and send us an email or call us, and we'll see about getting you into our pilot program. But essentially, the pilot program is going to be first prototype models that are sort of production ready, that we're going to fit certain guys with, and it'll be a fixed price for entry, but you're going to get support warranty for up to a year on the blade holder itself, and you'll get a pair of steel. And that pair of steel, if it gets damaged or broken or you need backup, you can work with us to get what you need, and we will drive out to the rink and meet you there and put these on your skates and offer a complete support package for you. So that's something that we're going to be introducing this summer, and you'll be able to find out more information about that on our website once it goes live.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the steel for a second. So there's lots of different types of steel out there, and I've recently gone to like a titanium finish, and I noticed that it makes the blade bite harder. So for me to like get used to these titanium blades, I could feel my stops chattering a little bit, right?
Oh yeah.
So what kind of steel are you using, and are there different types of steel, and like what do people want?
So the blades on the market are made out of 420 stainless steel. It's a martensitic stainless steel, so it's heat treatable, so you can harden it. And pretty much all the blades are made out of 420 stainless. Now, there's different recipes within that alloy. So you can have, you could have steel from Sandvik or steel from Bowler or other companies that manufacture steel, and they all have their own little formula on how to make the steel. Our steel is slightly unique, and it's a little bit different. It has a different, formula for manufacturing. But we tested this out early on, and we were quite happy with it because it had very good wear resistance and corrosion resistance. So longevity-wise, it was something that was quite appealing to us. It sharpens up really well, and it really holds its edge. So I mean, the alloy itself is very similar to what's already out there. We didn't really want to reinvent the wheel when it came to the steel.
Yeah.
We, like I said earlier, we really wanted to focus on the blade holder being, material being the only change. We didn't want to introduce too many variables. It's going to be hard enough to get players to switch onto a completely new system like this, and making that task, more difficult by adding, different steel and different variables would just be, sort of unnecessary. So our steel is very high quality, and it sharpens very well, and it's great stuff. So we've had no complaints about the steel, definitely.
Something else I looked up last night was true goalie skates, and 80% of the NHL goaltenders are using like the true goalie skate.
Interesting.
They've made a one-piece boot and blade holder together. Have you seen that?
I think I have. I might have. Yeah. I focus less on the goalie stuff. We were talking about this earlier, but I have been focusing less on the goalie stuff.
We can't all be perfect.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah. But I think I have heard of this. I don't know if I've seen it though.
Yeah. So it's ugly, but the blade holder is one piece with the boot, made out of carbon fiber, and
I've seen a pair.
you've seen they're ugly.
You think they're ugly?
They're terrible.
Oh.
You like them?
It's like calling the Blackbird, the SR-71?
Oh, okay.
No?
No.
Okay. I think it's beautiful. Everybody thinks it's hideous. But
Wait,
anyway.
so are you saying that this goalie skate is the blade is not removable?
The blade is removable.
Okay.
But there's no.
The holder itself.
There's
is
no
integral with the
piece.
boot. Yeah.
There's no our skates are made out of three pieces. There's the boot. There's the blade holder and the blade.
Right.
With the true
It's
skate,
like one.
they've got just the boot and the blade.
Gotcha.
The blade holder is one piece with the boot.
Oh, okay.
It's all carbon fiber.
And I think they're going along the same lines as what you're going along, right? They're trying to make a more rigid boot.
Absolutely.
Right? So are they going to make that for players?
They definitely could. that's something that early on we explored the idea of looking at like, one-piece boot and blade holder construction. Obviously, we're not in the boot business, but I think that the difficulty with that would be, these things do break, and ours are going to break. The plastic ones break. They take a lot of abuse, a lot of wear and tear, and the good thing about this is if these break, you can pop them off and put new ones on, right? And I think if it's integral with your boot, and anything happens to your blade holder or your blade, you're kind of stuck, and you have to buy a new boot setup altogether, which could be quite expensive, right? And obviously, this is speculation because this isn't on the market yet. But I imagine if it's integral,
not just that, as a player, I would hate that. Now all of a sudden, I got a left boot that I haven't worn yet, not worn it in quite right in a game situation. If I was Joe Sakic, who could just show up and wear anything, he's okay. But for most of the players, they'd want to kind of wear the skate a couple times. Like, can you imagine in the middle of a game? Oh, I got to put a brand new skate on. Like, 20,000 people watching you trip all over the place. Not good.
Yeah, I'd be concerned about the durability too with the carbon fiber. I mean, we looked at carbon fiber construction early on, but we just really weren't convinced about the durability.
I mean, when I saw the True skates in the store, I thought, yes, hideous, but there's like a beauty in that hideousness, Anyway, you stop pucks. What are we doing here? Like, they seemed thick, like it seemed thick enough, Kevlar backed maybe or something, but you hit the nail on the head. I had concerns because even with down low, like if you're, not that anybody's making kick saves anymore, but still, right? I had big time concerns there. And as a player, I think even higher.
Well, in terms of a goalie too, I mean, I think weight, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think weight would be less of a concern than for a player because you're not, skating and accelerating.
Negligible,
So you're really moving side to side and like you said, stopping pucks. So I mean, the priority there could be durability, but in terms of a player to get, the trade-off with this is durability and weight, and how light are they? Well, they could be as light as you want them, but they're not going to hold up, or they can be as heavy duty as you want, and they'll never break, but then they're going to be
heavy
bricks, right? So. Good engineering is finding a balance of all the variables, all the important variables, and I think that would be difficult with the technology as it is today to achieve that with carbon fiber. So that's one reason why we went the metal route, the aluminum route.
Beautiful.
I want to try these, man. Like, I'm serious.
Definitely get you a pair.
Well, that's like what's interesting is the True skate.
And I'm lazy, beer league lazy, right? Like, let's go.
But like the true
Save you a ton of
skate is
energy out
really
there,
the guy's from a background of speed skating. So he has a boot. When you're speed skating, it's all the boot, then the holder, right? So really what's happening, like my skates, I don't like them too stiff. Like they make them too stiff for these kids now. This stiffens up the whole bottom part where you're pushing and turning. Your heel's still locked in. So you're getting all the power and you can lean forward. You're not hurting your knees. Like these kids now, the turning and tight turns in these stiff boots, like so many different knee injuries. I don't think you need such a stiff boot. I think by putting these blades on, you're stiffening up your skate where it needs to be stiffened. Like the best skaters I've ever seen, guys like Bobby Orr and Paul Coffey, they didn't even do the top two laces up. Why? Because flexion, getting up over the toes, right? And now these kids, you see even beer leaguers, they'll do like wrap around a couple times and tape it up. Like, that's not good. You want to have flexion. You want to be bent kneed so you actually are mobile and your knees aren't. Can you imagine the torque on your knees now with the super stiff skates? Like, it worries me for these kids, what they're going to feel like. Like, for me, like a lot of my buddies, like, Babs and these guys, their knees hurt and stuff. They play a lot of hockey, blocking shots and all that, but the skates saved them a little bit. You start putting guys that are 230 pounds on skates that are so stiff every time you do a tight turn. And not just that, the hip joints. Think of just all that torque on the hips for these young kids that have played hockey the whole time on these super stiff skates. And their parents will go out sometimes and buy the pro model, and they're like 10 years old. Like it's...
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I never
kids
actually,
want 'em.
I never thought about that, but that's a very valid point.
That's kind of how I feel, and that's, for me, that's why I think
that is interesting because
custom fitting them for sure.
It's like the hockey stick, like earlier, like now you buy they're engineered, right? The big difference, going from wood to the aluminum to eventually carbon, and now, so the low kick point, mid kick point, all this stuff. So with the skate, that's interesting because, like you say, you're essentially engineering that skate now where you're stiffening it where you want to, like you would with the stick, or soften the stick or skate where you need it to as well, right? So that's a good point. And going, I will say, from a pair of older style skates, I can't remember how old they were or what gen you would say they were. They were still like Bauer Vapors, right? But leather-ish to like the non-leather pro model, whatever that I bought. Huge difference. And on a guy with a sore knee, kind of getting back on it all was interesting. And going into the store and just telling him to put a bit of a rocker on them. Yeah, that's what he did. He chuckled and was like, "Come here, Pops." Like, no, we call it a profile now. And and I had to do like 5 minutes of learning, right? But it's a huge difference, and it makes a lot of sense. Like I say, man, like it'd be interesting to try them out because
and like a lot of the knee stuff I think can be absorbed or prevented from the boot side of things. But I think you're talking about like high performance and getting energy down to the ice. You really want to have the most rigid system in place for that direct line of power from your leg down to the ice, and that's definitely the blade holder and blade. So I mean, and the feedback that we've gotten so far from a lot of our test subjects has been extremely positive, and we've taken a lot of that feedback and used it to implement improvements and changes. And like I said before, we're at like probably the most evolved version of this blade holder that we've had yet, and we've been working on it for almost 3 years now. So there's been a lot of R&D that's gone into this, and we're very confident with where it's at now. And you guys can attest to this, but the sensation, I would say, is very similar to traditional holder. It doesn't feel like radically different. It just feels like more tight, more precise, and I would say kind of like you're on rails almost.
And even like receiving a pass in your feet is actually more predictable than plastic. I think in plastic, when it hits, there's times you get a pass and you actually, at full speed, you're actually going to catch it in the middle on purpose. You know it's coming. No matter where it hits on this blade, it's the same feel, but on plastic, it comes off different on each spot. So the middle, easy control. When you start putting it out on the toes and in the heels, it pops off. Harder to control it. So,
does it feel any different when you get hit with the puck in the rail there?
I don't.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's more of like a thud and like a dead sound.
Thud, like a more
it's
of
like
a thud.
like a mallet hitting a. It's like kind of like thud.
That's exactly the sound.
And it doesn't like rebound or bounce.
It doesn't pop off.
It absorbs
fast.
that energy and it keeps the puck there.
Okay.
What
about the longevity of taking the puck off the foot? Is it like because it's a hollow?
Those have been on for 2 years.
Oh yeah.
I've had them for a while.
Okay, we've had
a year and a half.
We've had generally good longevity, but we have had some durability concerns.
And you go in the corners still. Come on now, these look pretty decent.
Cliff goes hard.
I only go in the corner.
No, I mean, hey, look, the toe up here is pretty nicked up.
Only if I'm losing, I'll go in the corners. But if we're winning, I won't.
Yeah, you got to get the puck off them first, right?
Well, also show the trigger.
So I mean, this is a kind of a cutaway of our locking mechanism. This is our locking mechanism, and our blade holder, I should mention, is patent pending. But you can kind of get a good idea about how the locking mechanism functions here. So you kind of depress the button there, and the blade just pops out like that, and you can put the toe in first, and then the heel there. That makes a very satisfying clicking sound. So our spring, our locking mechanism is...
for you, not me.
Yeah, I was playing with this one a little bit.
So our locking mechanism there is made of grade 5 titanium.
Okay.
So it's a compliant mechanism. We wanted to go with as few components as possible. So there's really only 3 pieces there. There's the blade holder shell out of aluminum.
Yeah.
There's the blade, which is made out of stainless steel, and then there's the titanium spring.
This is like the AK of holders, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I can't
Slap your
wait. I'm going
magazine
to
in
put
there.
this on after I'm going to play a game up at Great Bear Lake with some guys for the 200th
Silver looks
anniversary.
great.
I'm putting these on.
Just one, though.
Well, because
Just one.
the reason is because I haven't. When I play, I don't tell people. Like, but now it's going to get out there. I'm going to
Get some
start.
attention.
I'm going to be a little louder.
Nice.
I just think it'd be good to go out and be loud with like Lindros and those guys.
That'd be kind of cool, Hayes, to come up with a color scheme that, like, when you see a player rocking them, you know right away.
You know what it is.
You know right away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe we cut this out or whatever. But from my understanding then,
Yeah.
the pressure holding this in is the pressure of this, the rigidity of the titanium one.
Exactly.
So if there's ever an issue with them popping out, it's as simple as making this ever so thicker.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a very quick-
That's so smart.
And we've done
That's so
probably
smart.
we've done a lot of testing around that locking mechanism,
Yeah.
and we've done, close to.
That's cool.
I think we're in the 40s. We're in the high 40s now in terms of the locking mechanism, and like you said, a lot of that was testing. How much pressure do we really want to have? On that button, so that it's like easy enough that you can get your finger in there, but not so easy that a puck or an impact would dislodge
Well, I
the
mean,
blade.
if it's titanium, you could use a
Yeah.
tool real quick, something.
Yeah, and you can push it in, and it was also a balance and a matter of finding kind of the deformation point, because if you overextend it, it can be damaged. So then building in hard fail safes and finding the right amount of force that latch could hold the blade in. So
That's smart.
It's definitely the best iteration that it's ever been right now, and we haven't had really any issues. We had some issues early on, but like I said, we're on version 47 or something now, I think. So we've worked through a lot of that. But no, it's quite effective, and it does take a bit of practice, figuring out how to get your thumb in there and activate it. But I've done it so many times, it's almost second nature for me now. But for the newcomers, there will be a tool that we're going to offer eventually, so it'll be a lot easier to kind of eject the blade. But yeah.
Let's talk about Ty Ronning's experience with these blade holders. So, just if people don't know, Ty is playing out in the German Hockey League. He was MVP of the league last year, and he's won back-to-back championships with Berlin.
Yeah.
The Bear, is that how they say
Ice
the name?
Baron.
The Ice Baron. And when did he start using these?
Well, we pretty well got him on the blades.
This is summertime.
August,
I think.
He he saw me skating on them. I said, Ty, I'll tell you, these things, your turns, just when you skate laps, like I kind of train them a little bit in the summer, and I skate the what out of them, but a lot of it's something I learned from the Russian. Billy Letinov was, when I got hurt, he had me skate laps. It's the Russian drill, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you go the other way, but it's for long strides. And what happens is being able to learn how to skate when you have lactic acid. And what happens is your brain tells you to stand up. You'll see guys that are getting tired, they start standing more upright. So you actually have to train your brain and your legs to stay lower. It's kind of a weird thing, but once you kind of master that, that's when he said this was like nothing. He goes, it was so easy. And usually after you're done doing these laps, because I would say it takes about 40 minutes. You get like so many so many minutes between each lap, and right away he noticed the difference in lactic acid and just the tight turns and the power, breakaway power, pulling away from someone. So he's loving it. He's got guys in his team that are very interested also. We got players over in Europe that are interested. It's just a matter of anything. I remember working with Warrior, and they had this green lime stick, and I go, there's nobody going to use this. And then I was in Edmonton, and Comrie saw it, and he goes, I want to try that. It was originally called the True One back then, and and then he went out and played great, and then from then on he had the brightest stick in the league, and then all of a sudden another guy wanted it, and then all of a sudden another guy had it, then Kovalchuk had it. It was just like, this is what's going to happen with this, because I really believe this product is taking it to the next level, and you feel it. And that's
it's
why
very innovative.
Yeah, we want to do this program because when someone comes and tries it, instantly you're going to know a difference, and that's the selling point. It's going to sell itself. It's just a matter of getting to try it, and that's what we're trying to do, to be out there for people. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that covers the Switchblades. So do we want to get into some hockey talk before we wrap it up?
Sure.
We missed out on talking about one of the best hockey games of all time.
Buffalo, Tampa?
The gold medal game.
Oh.
I was going to say Buffalo Tampa.
Buffalo, Tampa, man. Holy, what a barn burner that. I wish Rick Jenneret was around to see that. It broke my heart. That was the first thing I thought of when I was watching the highlights was, boy, I wish it was in his voice, but what a game that was. Anyway, go for the gold medal game.
You watched
Hey, they look good, man.
I didn't
picked
watch
up
that game.
They got Stanley now.
Yeah.
I know. I see Shane when I'm down in Phoenix, and his son's there. He's made a big difference. He's really like bumped up the lines, and they got Thompson. And not just that. Now they got a mean team, and they're young, and they're ambitious, and they're kind of not really taking other teams like, okay, it's Tampa, let's go. And I like that. So who knows? They could be in the Final Four. You just never know this year.
Have you ever been on a team that's turned it around like that?
Yeah, the Canucks.
Yeah. Where does it come from? What is the catalyst of a team that's struggling?
Leadership.
And then
Coaching, leadership. Pat Quinn. I'll never forget, like, he tried everything with us, and we were having kind of a 500 season. And just after Christmas, I think it was, he says, guys, we're going to Vegas. We're going to bring the wives. And we're like, we don't deserve this. So everyone had a guilt feel like, oh my God, like, what is going on? And then, so we go there as a group, bringing us together, right? That's what it's about, bringing the guys together, not separating and wanting to be, in a situation that everyone goes out to different locations and, after a game, they go to a different bar or wherever. Everyone goes to the same place. You go as a team. You win as a team, lose as a team. And I think that's, especially the 94 guys.
How high up? Leadership. Like, you guys, I mean, you're in the room, right?
Yeah.
And you guys all have each other's back, but like, to what extent does it matter who the GM is? I mean, if it's the same guy, Pat Quinn, okay, sure, but like the owners,
I think GM's very important because he's put everyone in place. Mm-hmm. And there's times I think Pat would step down and coach for a while to see what's going on, get a different vision. There's other coaches I played with that were kind of similar, but not quite that presence. Leadership. I mean, Trevor was a great leader. He was hard on guys, Like, when I played, it was a little bit different. Guys would go for a couple beers maybe after games and stuff. And there's a certain time leadership comes in, getting close to the playoffs for that push. Corralling guys. Okay, no, not tonight. Let's go. We're getting ready for tomorrow's game. Mm-hmm. And leadership is important. And that kind of goes from here down to here and then out through the older guys. So I think that's something that is super important. And I see Buffalo 1 or 2 years away that they're coming together. Like, they're starting to feel kind of a bit of a buzz, like, holy smokes, we're pretty good. We're pretty big too. We're tough. Yeah. Oh my God, this goalie's not bad. Like they're starting to come together as a team. It might be a year or two, but just even when Lindy Ruff says, "Oh, I like this style of hockey," I'm thinking, "Oh boy, here we go!" Right? So it looks like the game's changing again. It just seems like whoever wins the Stanley Cup, everyone starts following that direction. So everyone's trying to be like the Florida style, a little bit of toughness and aggression and meat on the bone type teams, and that's how you win. Myself, I've always felt it'd be nice to have 10 Canadian hockey players because, they're getting up at 6 a.m. and having cold coffee, and the parents are driving them there, and then they go to school. It's just the culture of Canada. And sure, it's happening in the U.S., but it's snowing here. It's cold still. Like that's who we are. Like, hockey is Canada, and I've had many discussions with my friends from the States, and but like you were saying, that game we said was a great game was the last Canada and U.S. I thought Canada totally outplayed them. I thought they played great, but it was kind of that fate. You could kind of see when I found out it was the same day the Miracle on Ice happened, and
it was Johnny Gaudreau's birthday.
then Johnny Gaudreau's birthday.
The hockey gods came into
Hockey
play.
gods, yeah.
If you think about,
Yeah.
When are they going to make the movie about this?
I mean, if you think about those plays with McDavid on a breakaway, Celebrini on a breakaway, the wide open net for Taves, the wide open net for McKinnon, like it was meant to be for the States to win that game.
It does happen. Yeah. It's true.
Has it ever happened to you? Have you ever felt a divine intervention in one of your games?
Oh, there's times. I mean, I look back in '94 in Game 7. I had to play with a broken hand. Trevor had cracked ribs. I think Dave Babich, he had like his right foot was like swollen, could barely get it in the skate. It was like little dominoes were happening. Like even in Game 7, our wives were flying in to watch the game, and air traffic controllers thought it would be funny to let them circle, so they didn't get there till the second period. Just like little mind games. I mean, you can't make excuses, but I'm gonna. So Gregson, because Pat Quinn didn't want Gregson reffing, because Gregson, brother-in-law, is the assistant coach on the New York Rangers, and this is his NHL. So, and Pat Quinn said, no, this is ridiculous. We were supposed to also play a day before, but they said the circus was in. But I don't think that was true, and it was because our team was younger, and I think we were more fit. They needed a little more time to rest.
Yeah.
But one thing I learned is experience. If I had one more shot at it, I think I'd do better. But the experience of Messier, the experience of Andersons and Tikkanens and all these guys have won cups, like that really, I think we were the better team physically and younger, and the goalies were both great, but it was their understanding, like take the guy's arm out, like whatever that you have to do it. And I think our team was still like playing the game, maybe not understanding we were trying to win in a nice way. Like, I don't know how to, like, that's the feeling I got, that
it was a war.
They went overboard on certain things, taking guys out when we, I mean,
they didn't play by the rules.
But Tim Hunter, he got it because he's won cups. So Tim Hunter was very ferocious, and he made a big difference for our team as leadership. See, it's not always your best players are the leaders. It's the guys that go out and execute. They don't tell you, but, you know, I mean, they do things. He had an aluminum stick when no one used aluminum. He'd come back to the bench, and it was bent in half all the time. Like, I don't remember him stick handling with the puck, but somehow it come back, but he knew how. It's a war. It's an absolute war. It was all cost, and
they knew how to play dirty. They knew how to play dirty.
Glenn Anderson, a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He wins because he'll drive the net and accidentally fall on the goalie.
Yeah.
Right? And take a pounding, but I know it sounds crazy, but these are the little things at a pro level that can actually make the difference in the end. But for me, I have no, it's sad we didn't win because our fans deserved it. The fans were behind it. It got people back into hockey in Vancouver.
You guys deserved it.
We did because we had a team that were best friends. We were buddies. Like everyone was tight. Yeah. No one talked about other guys. Like we were friends, and it started way up here, the way he treated us.
Yeah.
And I think, looking back, that's kind of the whole thing was. I look at that jersey, and that's what I think right away. I think of Pat Quinn. I think of friendship. I think of at the time the Griffiths were the owners. They were like best friends with us. It was like, it was really a cool time in Canuck history. And then obviously in 2011 with the Sedins, amazing players, amazing human beings, by the way. And that team on paper was better than the other team. And
But they were nice.
well, they were, but there was a controversial call when the guy hit him at center ice or whatever.
Was that the suspension?
It was a suspension, but everything changed after that.
Yeah.
And then it was actually in playoffs, not a penalty. And that's where it all changed. And then they started abusing Burrows and the fast guy there. Oh my God, what's his name?
Mason Raymond?
Mason Raymond.
Yeah.
And then they're going after the Twins, and it was just, to me, that part was more the NHL refereeing or whatever the owners wanted as a show overall. Decided, no, we're going to let it go this way, because they could have called some of the jumping on guys' necks and stuff and elbow smashes. But hey, I love the game when it's rough, and that makes the hardest trophy in the world to win, because it's a war, and that's what makes, I hate to say it, the game fun to watch. And hopefully it's going to take a while, I think, with the Canucks, but looking at Buffalo.
Well, they got to learn these things, right? They have to they were broken down a few years ago because of drama and
it's a whole
bad relationships. So
whole other
we need to
episode,
teach
man.
them.
Yeah,
This is what makes a championship team right here. What Cliff is talking about.
You can't, I mean, I would look at you and say, duh. Because I would say that because my father's echoing in my head, you can't have a championship team if you can't look down that bench and love every guy on it.
Well, that being said, who's the leader?
Well,
Who's your leader right now?
Well, I mean, it was Quinn Hughes, and because of all this drama, I mean,
was it?
Yeah, you're right. It's like guys like Tim Hunter. You need all these guys to be leaders, right? Like you were saying on our last podcast that it's always just one new guy being the leader that believes that they could win the team.
That was Pat recognizing what the room needed and what kind of person Tim Hunter was.
And that just goes to show you, though, that being the leader is not necessarily someone off the ice making sure that you're not going out for drinks after and you're doing everything properly, right? It's someone on the ice in the moment.
Yeah.
Well, you need both.
Yeah, you definitely.
And also sometimes that guy does this because they need to go and unwind.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's
there's
right?
guys that I played with a couple guys that they probably played better when they had a couple beers the night before a game, and that guy scored 70 goals on one-timers.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I remember you saying, though, during that 94 run, it was like there was a new guy stepping it up to win the game.
That's true. Yeah.
Every different game.
Every game was like a different hero. Like, sure, we all hey, Pavel, come on, man, let's get it. He did it against Calgary, Greg Adams. Like, every night it was a different night. And it wasn't always the superstar. Like, Jelena would score a huge goal by going to the net and the puck hitting him because he went to the net with courage. I heard the word courage tonight, that Toronto's lost their courage when their best player gets taken out with a dirty hit. Like, I played with Craig Berube when I was in junior. If anyone touched me, he was over the boards gonna fight him. Like, this guy. So that must be eating him up that no one stepped up. Like, it's interesting because there's a lot of teams doing it right, and there's a lot of teams doing it wrong. And
I think Edmonton is a good example of that, because if you think about the last games where Edmonton was in the Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals, they put too much pressure on McDavid to be the hero. Even in the gold medal game, you felt like it was McDavid's responsibility to win that game.
Yeah.
And he was being double shifted in overtime. Or Makar, unable to do the back check there because he's been double shifted. He's out of gas. So you need the whole team to be it put into a responsibility so
Yeah.
that you run every single line and you're not worried about relying on just one guy.
Yeah, well, that's why, like John Cooper, I met him, hung out with him. He's a great leader, great people person. He's there for everyone. He knows your limits of your level. That's going to be a team that's, I believe it was going to be like Tampa has stepped it up. They see what they needed to get past Florida, but they weren't expecting Buffalo young kids to now actually have this dream that, hey, we're all 24 or 25, we can do this, right? Like, that is going to be, if that series eventually happens, because one of those aren't going to get
It'll
there.
be second round.
That second round, that could be the series of a lifetime.
Let's go.
Yeah, and like you said, it takes not always superstars, but guys that have been there before. Like a Tim Hunter was brilliant with us, and he would play sometimes 4 minutes in the game, and he'd be off riding the bike afterwards, making sure everyone's seeing him ride the bike. Right? Hey boys, how many minutes you play? Like, if you played a certain amount, you're good. But he was pushing guys to work harder. Like, you think you're working hard? No. Let's go. And take it to another level. But he did it in a subtle way. The bike's right there. Tim Hunter, he's played, 15 years fighting and playing against Semenkos and winning cups, and he didn't say it like, hey, he was doing it to encourage you, much like Rick Tocchet when I was in Phoenix. Like, I was kind of getting a little out of shape, and he was super fit. He goes, Cliff, man, we're not going to win if you're not in better shape. Like, just straight out to me. So sure enough, I'm doing like different weights and this, because we were on the same line together. But those kind of people that are add-ons that you bring into a team with that attitude of let's work harder, because I always believe if you work hard at something, it'll always pay off. It always pays off. The hockey gods will come around. You outwork everyone, and outwork means showing up, skating in the summer, working hard, getting stronger, faster, and that dedication will eventually pay off, right? So that's kind of what we're doing with these things. And we know it makes a difference, and it's just a matter of getting on you and like people trying them and feeling what we've been feeling and everyone else, and going from there. So we're excited about that.
All right. Well, that's an hour, guys.
Awesome.
I want to throw one quick thing out there if we
Yeah, go ahead.
have time. Just it's something that we've always kind of talked about.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be great to get both Cole and Cliff's opinion on this.
Sure.
The Canucks logo.
Oh, God.
Does it need a change?
The 4 different logos?
Does it need a change? And if it does, do we go back to the skate? What are your thoughts?
I've never really thought about that.
You've always told me that you love the black skate.
There's not even a comparison.
Yeah,
To me,
it's
like,
the
come on.
greatest
You like the
logo of all the time.
Our alumni, I played in the Shoresy game. Even the Shoresy goes, how come you guys aren't wearing the skate?
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
like,
Really?
But this is our
Props
alumni,
to
though, because
Jared
that's
Cecil.
original, right?
Right.
Like, maybe it's just because that's what I wore, but it's, I'll be honest with you, when I see them on the ice in the black on TV,
Yeah.
they look bigger, meaner, more confident. Or I don't know if
Yeah.
it's just me.
No,
maybe, I don't
it's
know.
not just you.
100%.
And then
It's the
They need
greatest hockey uniform of all time.
it's
Nothing beats it.
I grade it. I mean,
no, Chicago
it's
Blackhawks.
thank you. Thank you.
But
Uh-uh.
for Vancouver, it's the most intimidating, most like when it's. I'm saying on TV because a lot
In
of
the
people,
rink,
a lot
too?
of people don't know that originally when I came here, where it's red was orange.
Yeah.
And then
They color
when
changed.
Frank Griffiths passed away, they changed it to red.
Yeah.
And then that's actually the year it all came together for the team. So, yeah, once again, fate. Stuff happens like that, I think. You get on a roll, like getting on a wave. start riding it, and anything's possible for any team. You get a hot goalie. It's going to be really interesting. Like Buffalo.
Your new Canucks logo with this skate.
Yep.
There
you go.
There you
The
go.
skate with that skate. There you go.
But like you said,
Bling it out with that.
Yeah.
that's just because I wore it. Maybe that's a good question to ask someone that has worn 3 different versions of it.
Because you didn't wear the Orca, right? No.
No, I didn't like it.
Yeah, no.
I really
Yeah,
it didn't
you're gone.
it didn't do anything for me personally.
Who would that be? Trevor Linden?
Yeah, there's quite a few. I think
There's a few.
Dave Babbage wore the other Canuck one.
Nazi?
That jersey.
Nazi didn't wear that, did he?
He might have caught the tail end of that, didn't? No.
Babbage did, yeah.
No, Babbitt. No,
Naslund.
Naslund.
No, Naslund, first year he was in the new one.
The Orca.
Yeah, I thought
The
so.
Orca, the first
I thought
Orca.
he
Yeah.
was one that, or he changed numbers or something. Anyway,
it did look better when they did the Orca with Vancouver under it, and the reasoning for that was selling it at airports
Yeah,
and
the
stuff.
Olympics.
Actually, I didn't. That one was better than the other one, at least. But it's still that's recognized more, especially in the States when they go and play, right?
I would agree.
Get rid of the Orca because Orca Bay is gone.
Yeah.
Keep this color for the junior team.
The
Because
Abbotsford Canucks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because it looks great, right?
Yep.
I don't know, the Johnny Canuck or the
Yeah,
skate and the stick. But like you say, that black and white and red and orange, and yellow.
It's
It's my favorite, and I think
Yeah.
it's official now. I think that's what we need to go back to. So on that bombshell,
well, I'm surprised they go to it a lot.
yeah,
Like I've never seen a team do it so much.
yeah,
But
so
everyone-
much so I think they should replace what's at center ice a bit. Like what are we doing here?
Okay, we're on the same path.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, let's get back to the
Yeah.
and let's get like another Gino Ojic or someone will go out there and protect some of these guys, and
yeah.
then maybe some of the players will be
Wanna
able to
stick around.
might want to get to the front of the net a little
More
bit.
time and space.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we'll sign off there.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Cliff,
Thanks for having us.
Cole.
Thanks, Cole.
That was
Thanks, Cliff.
amazing. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
And I hope that we do some more podcasts on a
100%.
Switchblades podcast where
one
we
day.
can
Yeah.
totally talk technology of the skate and this innovation and this journey that I see great things coming from this
Absolutely.
this product.
Appreciate it. Thank you
Right.
very much for the time today.
Perfect.
guys.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
All
you.
the best, guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.